Kara with Hidden My Heart. And I want to apologize first and foremost for being late this morning. I am not feeling well. My husband was not feeling well this weekend. And man, his phrase is always sucking wind. I'm like, whew, I'm struggling. But I did not want to miss our live because this time is so precious. And I want to just share the verse of the week with you. And I also want to review our verse from last week. So this week is Psalm 138:3. I have my bracelet on. It is a very light purple. It almost looks like a light pink. But sometimes the colors that I send in they don't always look identical. But anyway, if we look, we have all of our letters of each word, the first letter of each word on each bracelet. So on the day I called, you answered me. My strength of soul you increased. Psalm 138:3, which basically just says when we call out to the Lord, He strengthens us. And then last week's verse was Romans 8:26, and it says, likewise the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. And that again is Romans 8:26. And so these are our cards for the week, our flashcards to help us with our verse. And I wanted to actually read you a devotional today that is just talking about the way the Lord helps us. So this is from, my very favorite devotional book. It is Paul David Tripp, New Morning Mercies. He is just an amazing writer. So if you have never read anything by him, he's got some great books out there. But this is one back from May. And it says, don't give way to fear today. The Lord Almighty is your Savior, and He is with you in whatever you're facing and wherever you go. The Apostle Paul is in Athens, waiting to make connections with fellow travelers, and is so moved by what he sees and hears that that he can't resist interjecting God into the conversation. Listen to his words. So Paul, standing in the middle of, I don't know how to say this, Areopagus, said, men of Athens, I perceive that in every way you are very religious. For as I passed along and I observed the objects of your worship, I found also an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God. What therefore you worship as unknown, this I proclaim to you, the God who made the world and everything in it, being Lord of heaven and earth, does not live in temples made by man, nor is He served by human hands, as though He needed anything, since He Himself gives to all mankind life and breath and everything. And He made from one man every nation of mankind to live on all the face of the earth, having determined allotted periods and the boundaries of their dwelling places, that they should seek God and perhaps feel their way toward Him and find Him. Yet He is actually not far from one of us. For, quote, and this is Acts 17:22-28. This is part of it. In Him we live and move and have our being, as even some of our own poets have said, for we are indeed His offspring. There are two things that should calm our fears. The first is the incredible truth that Paul speaks to the Athenians. Paul announces that the God who is in control of everything that exists, even down to the exact address where we live, has decided to rule His world so that He is so near to all of us that any moment we could reach out and touch Him. God is always near and always reachable. But more needs to be said. Yes, it is true that as sovereign, God is near in power and rule, but it must also be said that as Savior, He is near in presence and grace. As sovereign, He rules over all the situations, locations, and relationships that may cause me fear. But as Savior, He is rescuing, empowering, transforming me by grace. Because God is my sovereign, My life is never out of control. And because He is my Savior, He blesses me with everything I need to live in the middle of things that are beyond my control. He's a sovereign Savior, which means I don't need to fear because He is with me and He provides everything I need for the places where His plan leads me. He rules and He graces me with everything I need to live inside His rule with peace, hope, and courage. Why then should I fear? You can read more in Isaiah 41, 1 through 20. So, friends, our last 2 weeks, our verses have been all about prayer and how near the Lord is to us. And His sovereign grace is what can get us through every day with peace, hope, and courage. So I just want to encourage you today, no matter what you're going through. Psalm 138:3 tells us that on the day that I called, you answered me and you strengthened me. So our strength is found in Him. And I pray that you can rest in that peace today. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you back here next Wednesday. Bye, friends.